Hey everyone, it's Olivia here, self-appointed executive producer of the Reflections podcast. And since Pastor Ryan is away on sabbatical this summer, I'm pretty sure I have the power to make that title official. So, until he gets back, we're re-releasing some of our most popular episodes so far. After all, an old message sometimes hits differently in a new season. I hope that is true for you today. Enjoy.
What is up, everybody? Hey, this is Ryan, and welcome to episode 100. Woohoo! I'm in the house with Olivia. We're in Mike's Beats Laboratory. Mike isn't here, but Olivia and I are here, and this is episode 100. Let's celebrate. So I don't know if you're listening to this today when you jumped onto the. Well, hopefully you're on the bandwagon when you jumped onto the Awaken. Wait, what? No, Reflections. Good grief. I do a weekly email to the congregation called Awaken, but this is Reflections. I don't know when you jumped on the bandwagon, but we're glad you're here. Welcome. And this is episode 100. So whatever you do to celebrate today. Give yourself a high five, dance a jig, have a drink, whatever you got to do it. And I wanted to share this story. This is one of my favorite stories. I've taught at several places around, I guess Minnesota and Denver and the U.S. And I've taught a couple of classes in theology at universities. I teach at a seminary, and I often will open with this story. And here it is. There is a story about this rabbi who's walking home one night. And on his way home, he's deep in thought, and he gets lost, and he takes a left when he should have gone right. Doesn't realize that he's gone the wrong direction because he's so deep in thought. And this rabbi suddenly comes upon this Roman garrison, this Roman fortress. And he hears somebody call down from the top of this Roman fortress and say, "Hey, who are you? And what are you doing here?" And the rabbi looks up and he goes, "What'd you say to me?" And the guard up on top of the garrison says, "I said, who are you and what are you doing here?" And the rabbi says, "Let me ask you a question. How much are they paying you to be up on top of that garrison and to yell down those two questions? Who are you and what are you doing here?" And the guard is sort of caught off. He's like, 2 denarius a week or whatever. And the rabbi's like, "Hey, I will pay you double that to come over to my house every morning and ask me those 2 questions. Who are you and what are you doing here?" So I want to ask you, listener, who are you? And what are you doing here? You know, the culture that we live in, especially the modern Western culture that I'm most familiar with, will generally work to push you in a certain direction. You probably feel it. If you're maybe super young, maybe not yet, but the older you get, you've got to recognize that there is this like stream that's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour that pushes us to go in a certain direction, to value certain things, to be and behave in certain ways that we just adopt without even asking why or what's going on. It's sort of like the Matrix, you know what I mean? I remember when I was younger, I just remember thinking, I get up and go to school every day. And why? Well, to get good grades. I'm like, well, why am I doing that? Well, I'm like, okay, to get into a good college. I'm like, well, why? Well, to get a good job eventually one day. Well, why do I care about that? Well, to make money. Well, why? Why do I need to make more money? Well, so you can be happy. And then it's like, yeah, that was kind of the end of it. I'm like, okay, so every day I get up to go to school, do my homework, and so I can get good grades, so I can go to a good college, so I can get a good job, so I can make more money, and then ultimately, I guess that'll be what makes me happy. And now, of course, there's value in just doing the thing because you take pride in it. But when you're a kid, I felt like I ingested this pathway, like this is where I'm going, and I'm going there no matter what. But then I'm asking, is that what will make me happy? And are we, as a culture, are we happy? Like, are we a bunch of happy people? Because we're all trying to chase this thing, and we're all in this stream that's moving 1,000 miles an hour. And are we happy? And I don't know. The longer I live, I know the culture will do its best to co-opt us and our well-being to fit into the certain mold and direction. And it's easier for us to just get in and go along. It's harder to fight against the stream. But who are you? Like, who are you? And what are you doing here? And maybe it's this very specific pathway that it seems like everybody's on, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something different. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what other people are doing. That's not you. There's this great saying that one of the rabbis said, "Hey, when I go to heaven, God won't ask me, 'Hey, why weren't you Moses?' Instead, God will ask you, 'Why weren't you you?'" So for me, God might be like, "Oh, well, God won't ask me, 'Why weren't you such and such good, preacher or good pastor? Why aren't you that guy?' God will ask me, Ryan, why weren't you Ryan? Yeah, why weren't you you? How can I be me unless I know who I am? Like, who are you? And what are you doing here? Now, this takes time to figure out, of course. I love talking to high school kids when they're graduating because they're right on the tipping point there of like having ingested this message like, hey, go to school, work hard so that you can then go to college, so that you can get a good job, so you can make money, so you can be happy, you know what I mean? And they're right, some of them are like right about to go into college and they realize, well, maybe college isn't for me, or I don't want to go to the college my parents want me to go to, or I don't want that job that my parents want me to have, or that the culture tells me I should have. And so I say to them, listen, how could you know what you want and who you are and what you're doing here? You're only 18. Maybe you know, but a lot of them don't know because they're only 18, and that's okay because it takes time to figure out who you are and what you're doing here. And so if you know and have a sense, yeah, go to whatever your plan is. If you're like, I'm going to go be an electrician, okay, great. Or I'm going to go to this college and study law, great. But don't be surprised either if you get in there and you're like, I don't think this is for me. That happens. In many ways, I think it takes a good decade for many of us in our 20s to like figure out what I'm doing, what I'm good at, where I want to go, what I feel like a sense of calling to, and who I am and what I'm doing here. And you might have to, in that time, when you're younger, you might have to kind of enter into places that really aren't you, and you don't even know it yet, or you have to try on clothes that aren't really yours, and so you can know what you're doing and what you want and where you're going and what you feel like you're called to do and how you can make this world a better place and contribute and be a part of the mission of God of renewing the world. Now, here's a practice, though, I want to give you, and I'm going to get out of your hair and wish you all a happy 100th episode. But there's this great practice. It goes back to this guy named St. Ignatius. It's a form of the Ignatian Examen, and you can Google that. If it means nothing to you, then don't worry about it, But it's a way of, at the end of every day, and if you did this for I think 3 months and took notes, I think you would find some very fascinating things. But this is one of the ways you can find out who you are and what you're doing here. So here's what you can do. Every night before bed, take about 5 minutes and kind of enter into this time of reflection and quiet. And you can give thanks to God for all the things in your life that happened that day, good, the big and small gifts you received and the moments of beauty and wonder and awe and all that kind of thing. And then examine your day, go over your day, almost every moment from the time you woke up through to breakfast to lunch, and then who you met with, and did you go out for a coffee? Did you work out at the gym? Did you go play disc golf? And then you came home and met with go over all those things and ask yourself 2 questions. And the first one is, hey, what did you do today that was life-giving? What you could phrase it like this: what did you do today that if you had to relive this day over, you'd do that moment again? Or you could say it like this: what in today's day, what are you the most grateful for? What made you come alive today? Not maybe it's oh, I got a free car. Well, that'd be awesome. But write it down, whatever it is. It doesn't matter how shallow or deep it might seem. Just write it down. And what was the most life where you felt like you were able to give and receive love, or you felt like you were living in tune with who you really are, and you just felt life-giving, it felt fun and incredibly connected, and all those kinds of things. The second question is, what in your day are you the least grateful for? So just the converse question, what did you do today that you felt disconnected? Or where did you feel like you couldn't give or receive love? Or you felt like you weren't really yourself, or you weren't grateful for that moment. It felt like there was something just kind of off. You were off of center. And write that down as well. And then do this for 3 months, I would say. And you don't have to do it every single night, but I'd encourage you to do that. And watch what happens. My guess is the things that bring you life, you'll start to see a trend. These are the same 3 things that keep bringing me life. For me, I did this for a long time, for about a year. And I noticed whenever I would hang out with people and when I would talk about God, this is a true story, those always brought me life. And here I am, I'm a pastor. There's something about my life, I'm sort of wired, I think, internally to be with people and to encourage them and to talk about deep things about God and faith and life and meaning. And I love doing that. And then, on the flip side, the things that kind of drain life, you can address those as well. But do it over the course of a large chunk of time and see what it is and what those things are. And that might give you some clues about who you are and what you're doing here. So, friends, for our 100th anniversary of Reflections Podcast, it's been a good ride. Olivia, it's been fun having you here the last month, a couple weeks. But I want to ask you this question. These 2 again. Who are you? And what are you doing here? All right, love you guys. Peace. Hey, if you enjoy this show, I'd love to have you share it with some friends. And don't forget, you are always welcome to join us in person at Central in Elk River at 8:30, which is our liturgical gathering, or at 10 o'clock, our modern gathering. Or you can check us out online at clcelkriver.org. Peace.